To CSTA, the first thing that they introduced was actually constants and then the variables.
Principles of competency-based learning and an interdisciplinary approach to coding, physical computing, and STEM education, Super Teacher has made a significant impact.
Coding is more like a concept.
A very good morning to one and all present over your teachers. A warm welcome to another Super Sunday workshop. Thank you so much for joining consistently. And this time we are getting into an important topic called as project-based learning. There are a lot of myths around it. There are a lot of discussions with respect to project-based learning, problem-solving skills, competency-based education, and hence we thought this is the right time to touch up this topic and just have a little bit of recap. Most of the people out there would have been talking about project-based learning and then keep talking about it. I mean, you're executing this regularly. So when we talk about project-based learning, it's just not about the simple application of assigning some project for the students and then getting it done. It is more on the chapter in itself. So let's quickly get on the session and start with what exactly we have in for the plate today. And more importantly, the session would exceed like not more than 40-45 minutes. So I'll ensure that by 11 o'clock maximum, you'll get your reflection form and you finish it. For all the teachers who are joining for the first time, thank you for joining. And right after the session, there'll be a form coming up on the chat. Which will have certain questions related to the topic discussed. Answering 7 questions correct from 10 questions that are placed over there, you will be getting your certificates. So let's quickly start and let's go on. And I would also like to tell you to the teachers, all the teachers out there, the session will be ensured like from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. Due to a lot of traffic with respect to number of participants, I delay sometimes that today it's got delayed up to a certain extent. I apologize for the delay over here, ma'am, and to all the teachers out there. But the commitment of 10 to 11 will not exceed that. So let me quickly share the screen and take it forward. So here we go. Actually, one interesting thing about a Super Sunday workshop, which was mentioned in the last feedback was They said that like all the topics that we have during the session, it's something revolving around the Indian education system and you know, something revolving around the government of India, its initiatives. Most of them you actually know about. But looking into the session, it is like a quick recap or a revision on what we already know. So somewhere it's like whatever we are discussing over here, it's not more like knowledge transfer. It's just a simple research of whatever you already know, explicitly mentioned once more, so that you're reminded that, oh, there is this methodology. Let me just get back to my older days and start that again. Something like that. Something like that. So project-based learning, Super Sunday workshop series. We are at session 119. One more session and 120. That's quite a milestone. And all the teachers who have been regularly joining, thank you so much for that. So let's go forward. Let's go forward and understand what's project-based learning. The key point of this particular statement, it's quite significant to write in the beginning to set the context. Project-based learning is not something that is there at the end of the unit. It is the unit. I'll repeat, it is the chapter. So if we are covering a certain chapter, it's important to understand that the teachers write in the beginning, start the chapter probably with some sort of a project. And in the process of completing the project, the lessons are learned. Some of the famous projects that are still existing and which doesn't qualify under project-based learning is, I think you would have come across a science exhibition where children come up with volcanic eruption. They have the clay and the mud and everything, and then there is some lighting done to it or food colors added to it. Then you have got the baking soda, and you just mix with vinegar, and then the carbon dioxide comes out, and it just comes out like, and you call that as volcano. Well, that's just an analogical representation of what volcano could be. It signifies that you have understood something, but cannot be categorized under project-based learning. There are quite a lot of famous workshops. I think, in case if everyone can put it on the chat, like a volcanic eruption, anything else that you remember? One of them that I remember is the students, use different conductors and insulators. They put it on the circuit. If it's a conductor, the light will glow. If it's not the conductor, the light will not glow. That's one simple example. Tsunami alarm system is something that I recently saw in one of the schools. Quite innovative for sure, the way it was presented, but something which is already existing. No, water cycle is absolutely the right one. Rainwater cycle, you rainwater harvesting. You have that terrace of the home where the water is harvested. Windmill, absolutely. How did we miss windmill? Windmill is another common reaction of sodium with water. Oh, that's new actually. During my times, it was not there, but eventually people started seeing, loving the sight of sodium just lighting up in the water. So maybe that could be. Solar panels have become quite a trend right now. But if you see these projects getting evolved over the period of time, you would have seen that students have started using a lot of electronic gadgets these days. People have come up with microcontrollers like Arduino or sensors like ultrasonic sensors. Thanks to the technology, the way it is developing and the accessibility of it is like increasing to a very large extent. The projects that you did not do even now until now with the materials are being done by students in grade 6 and 7. Well, that's because of the advent of technology, I would say. But the point over here is it's just not about the hands-on activities. It's the complete concept, and that's what we're going to get into. What's exactly project-based learning is all about. Pop sound experiment, solar cooker, and VR walkthroughs are trending right now. Refractions and reflection of light using mirrors and lenses. Oh, that's again some of the experiments happening out there. But today we are not going to talk about all these things because these don't categorize under project-based learning. They are the outcome, or I would say they're the evidence of what they've understood. So it's clearly mentioning this. Like project-based learning is not something that is there at the end of the unit. That means something happens after the unit. It's more like the unit. Quite a complex thing to implement in the school, actually. Yeah, something like this. I'm not sure if you've seen this episode, but quite a fantastic project-based learning out there. Let's go forward and quickly understand. As we are into project-based learning, I would like to break the myths first and then get into the other details. So for that, working of human art is also another interesting section, ma'am. Okay, okay. Mamta ma'am, I'll get back to you on that. Project at the end of the unit? No, it's not the grade. Project is the unit. Learning happens through the project. We've established that. Making a craft or decorative model. We are talking about it, right? Students solve real problems and create meaningful products that might or might not exist. The teacher or the facilitator can understand it, but not something that's already existing. Same output for every student or team. Now, there are a lot of times when the students come to a physics laboratory or a chemistry lab or biology lab to do an activity, and that is categorized under project. Now, that's not project because it's a teaching aid. End of the day, it's like a teacher is using the lab to convey the topic of probably reactivity series. That's the reason it's there. Probably the the activity of or the concept of acid bases and salts, or in biology, as somebody mentioned, like working of an art, something like that. But that's not project. It's hands-on activity or experiential learning process. Project-based learning is much more overarching, where you design the product, the outcome of that experiment, with multiple trials and coming up with the most ideal solution. Could be a project that you came to solve a problem. You'll understand this in detail. Same output for every student team. No, that's definitely not a PBL. Group work without guidance. There are a lot of times the children start doing a certain activity without really having the guide in place. Now here I'm talking about the teachers. We generally think that in project-based learning, students have got more work and the teachers have got less work. In reality, you'll not believe, a true project-based learning is actually choreographed, designed by a teacher, and it's an art. And if you have that doubt, you can ask every mother teacher or a pre-primary or a primary teacher, because they have to get into the details of the child psychology to an extent where what kind of hand gestures makes the children actually understand a certain topic. They go to minute details. I think primary teachers can relate. Why not higher secondary teachers I'm mentioning right now? Because higher secondary teachers, you already know the children, or already assume that there are basic skill sets, probably teamwork or collaboration or communication, that the children might already know. Well, that's again a misconception. Let's go forward. Internet. So basically, group work without guidance. Teacher scaffolds teamwork with structure, check-ins, and roles. Scaffolding is like, I think you know what scaffold. It's more like the periphery, the frame on which things are developed. For example, when a building is constructed, they actually have these bamboo sticks. Do you remember? They tie it, and the workers actually climb up in order to keep the bricks or apply the cements. Well, technology has gone way more forward, but the point is, these bamboo sticks or the wooden sticks that are there, or even the iron ones, like they're like quite common in the cities. These come under the category of scaffolds. Yeah, they are scaffolds, more like a support. Internet research followed by presentation. Well, this is another misconception. During my engineering days, this used to be dominated. Like, you do some research on the internet, you make a PPT out of it, and you come and present, this is my project. And you know what? You're given full marks for that. Well, that's not project-based learning. I'm not sure, but at least if we consider my college where I studied, nearly 75% of us literally just researched something on the internet, copy-pasted, made our own thesis. Of course, it was not completely meaningless up to a certain extent, and we thought it to be a project work. Well, enlightenment happened now that that's not project work, but unfortunately, we cannot go back. But project-based learning has got a lot of features that the children can develop over the period of time, that can be something related to lifelong learning. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about optional activity if time permits, integrated into core instruction to teach curriculum content. So basically, if you look into it, sometimes a particular topic is given as the project work for the students to do and come back. Well, again, that doesn't categorize under PBL, it seems. According to PBL Works and Edutopia, these are the two websites that we have referenced left, right, and center for today. Integrated into core instruction to teach curriculum content. So it's like core instruction. We're not getting diverted. I'm going to talk about this in specific a little later. Only for high achievers or older students? No, scalable and accessible for all the learners across ages and abilities. There's one very good point actually. Does project-based learning guarantee, good academic scores in the school? Well, incidentally, it does not talk about the scores in explicit manner. However, project-based learning guarantees critical thinking skills and development of competencies in various sectors. So, what's more important, academic scores or critical thinking skills? Well, as a teacher in a CBSE school, you can't say only critical thinking, as if both are important. One getting prioritized. Assessed only on the final product? No, includes process, collaboration, thinking, and self reflection. So, basically, assessment is throughout the project at regular intervals. Now, let's quickly understand it involves students. You're absolutely right. Now ChatGPT after internet. Okay, let's go forward and understand this. What is project-based learning then? If these are not, project-based learning is an instructional method where students gain knowledge and skills with the right attitude by working over an extended period. Time is very important to investigate and respond to authentic, engaging, and a complex questions or challenges. So it's all about that one particular complex question or the challenge on which everything else lies. Now, this complex question could be about rainwater harvesting system. It could be like water is scarcity in the globe. We need to save water. So what can we do? It's quite an open-ended question. And that's where the direction of project-based learning starts. And then you see what's already existing, what could be done, what is more sustainable. Can I monetize this particular project? A lot of things influence project-based learning. So there are multiple stations or departments that the teachers have to create on regular check-ins. So it should be real world, connects learning to practical context, inquiry drives curiosity and investigation, authentic product results in tangible, meaningful outcomes, unlike volcano or the water cycle experiment that you have done. If you can really do it at your home and make it as MVP, minimum viable product or market viable product, that's the outcome. Whatever I'm talking about with respect to product, it's mentioned in Niti Aayog's website called Atal Tinkering Labs. You can check about it, where they talk about entrepreneurship. Well, finally, reflection encourages metacognition and growth. Let's quickly understand this in the form of I'm sorry, a video, and then we'll come back to these presentation styles. Teach makes PBL easy. So this is PBL Works, Project-Based Learning Works, a fantastic website to understand the core aspects of project-based learning. A lot of myths around it, right? They'll break that. So I share the screen. Now I play the video. You should be able to see in 3, 2, 1.
The benefits of project-based learning are clear. It deepens learning, builds success skills like problem solving and collaboration, and makes education more meaningful. And for teachers, it transforms the classroom, sparking creativity, engagement, and connection. But designing great PBL takes time. Researching, planning, aligning to standards, it all adds up. And with everything on a teacher's plate, finding that time isn't easy. That's why we created PBL Works Teach, a digital platform that makes PBL easier, faster, and more accessible. Backed by more than 30 years of expertise, Teach delivers ready-to-use, standards-aligned projects with built-in professional learning. Each project includes step-by-step guidance, resources, and assessment tools, so educators have everything they need to bring PBL to life without the extra workload. Designed for schools and districts, Teach is scalable and sustainable. It features 24 expert-crafted projects across math, science, ELA, and social studies, each earning the PBL Works Gold Standard stamp of quality. And with embedded coaching videos and teaching tips, educators build their confidence and elevate their practice while using it in their classrooms. Project-based learning is powerful, unlocking deeper learning and student success. With Teach, educators can spend less time planning and more time inspiring, because students deserve relevant, engaging learning. And educators deserve the resources and tools to make it easier and more effective. Teach makes PBL easier. Learn more at pblworks.org/teach.
So that's with respect to PBL Works. Now it's my duty to basically show this website to you. Well, it's a product, but at the same time, they've got a lot of open source content. And for that, I would like to go to project-based learning PBL Works. I'm just doing the research right in front of you. So this particular website will give you a proper template and a detailed understanding on what is project-based learning. And interestingly, they also talk about the renowned projects that the students have made across the globe. Some of the Indian projects are also listed over here. And so they talk about two important areas called as gold standard PBL. I'll just show that to you. So where 7 essential project design elements that is supposed to be there. So there are that, like, these are mandatorily to be present over there. We have put this in a more generalized format in the presentation. I would like to show that to you. But before going forward, so you can see that key knowledge, understanding, and skills are the 3 areas learning goals. For that, you need to have a challenging problem or a question. Then sustained inquiry, research basically, authenticity with respect to how close this can be implemented, student voice and choice, everybody gets an opportunity to do, reflection, you keep checking on if you have done the right thing or not, critic and revision, it's all about welcoming feedbacks, public conduct, it's all about implementing it in the right place. Now this is with respect to the children, 7 essential project design elements. Now these are further expanded into a detailed aspect, and you can get into it. I would request you to use this particular website for the same. Also, when you look into 7 project based teaching practices, this is very important. So when we make a project based learning happen in the school, it is with respect to, the first one is basically design and plan. Like you're going to assign a project for an open-ended question. We're going to talk about how the question should be, and then align to standards. Now, when we talk about standards, it's all about knowing the outcomes. More importantly, from an overarching perspective, some people align their project completely into sustainable development goals. Some people align their projects into some practices of national education policy. Some people align it to their own school's vision and mission. We are a technology first school. So all these projects are related to that, or it has the feature of that, something like that. Build the culture. It's all about collaboration and communication among the students. Manage the activities. Like there are multiple stops basically, and the students have to wait over there, come back and check if they've done the right thing or not. And then scaffold student learning, that is the teacher's job over here. Assess student learning throughout the process. This assessment is not just about understanding the topic, but also about the soft skills that we're talking about: teamwork, time management, how easily they are able to communicate, things like that. Engage and coach them regularly. So this is basically the teaching practices with respect to project based learning. The same thing that we're talking about, both are written in a simple manner, in a more simple manner, like in pointers on our presentation. One interesting thing about project based learning is, have you come across any scenario where the students, they are excited with screwdrivers and spanners, and they see an electronic object in the home and they just dismantle it? Have they done that at your home? I'm not sure if your children have done. That's the reason we have got all these toys these days where the students are allowed to dismantle. Probably Lego Mindstorms could be one of them. I just got them for like from Hamleys and like for my child, but incidentally I am more interested into that. So by default, the children are very curious, especially in the early classes, where they like to fiddle around with things. And this fiddling around will always result in the product not working after the fiddling. It's like you completely dismantle the electronic gadget, you're assembling it back again. You're assembling it back again, but it's not working. Well, you need to have another iteration, and there was nobody in the home to continue that, or the teacher. There are a lot of times you would have come across, if the computer teachers are there, the CPU was literally dismantled. All the chips that are there, you will literally pull it out and try to figure out what is this. And I'm not sure if you have seen this. There are some children, what they do is they'll try to switch on the CPU without that particular component, and they'll see an error coming on the screen. Then they try to come to a conclusion, oh, this particular component is needed for it. It's common sense? No. So these are all experimentation and curiosity among the children, which is already by default there. If this is not kindled, then there's no learning happening in that field. That's why project based learning is important. So it's like you want something uh, for the child to have, and child has got his or her own methodology of learning. PBL can be one platform where that methodology could be easily accepted both by the teachers and by the students. Unfortunately, in India, project based learning cannot be a regularity, considering your number of periods for each subject and the amount of topic or content that you have. It's like by the time you start and assign a project and you really want to get into, it's like already half-yearly exam has started, you get into. In fact, one of the I don't remember, I might be wrong. One of the articles where I read is, in India a maximum of 2 projects, project-based learning, effectively can be done in an academic year by a facilitator, by a teacher, guiding the students. If students do have the capabilities and time, probably they can do more number of projects, but that guidance by a teacher in India They can't guide more than 2 projects in a year if it is done right. So while we're talking about this topic, most underrated somewhere, but at the same time, I'm pretty much aware that this cannot happen that easily implemented in the schools. Let's go forward. Doesn't mean that we don't really look into the details. So here we go. As per Edutopia and project-based learning works, PBL works, these are the 5 key features of project-based learning. That means you're going to ask a question every time when you're getting into the project, like all these features are there or not. One of them. First one is real-world connection. Students solve problems that matter. So you check a project and you see if if that has the real-world connection or not. Basic, yeah, it's there, put a tick mark, something like that. Does it have the core to learning area? So basically what exactly happens is project based learning is highly distractive. It's like the moment you get into a project, you get tempted to solve another problem that you come across during the project, leaving the core learning. I wanted to learn the chapter of light. I ended up getting distracted or attracted towards pressure, light, and now I'm into pressure because maybe I'm reading about electromagnetic waves. I understand it does not require medium. So when I understand that, oh, medium is responsible for pressure, and then somehow I get distracted towards that. How about that? So it's very important for the guide or the teachers to make sure that project-based learning has to be quite open but not distractive. The core to learning has to be always ensured. That's why you have check-ins every week. It's like, what's the status of your project? What are you doing currently? It doesn't have a right and a wrong answer, but that check is very, very important. Then there is something called as structured collaboration. Now structured collaboration is all about assigning tasks. You would have seen that in your schools the principals come back and give the task to all the coordinators and HODs. Ma'am, you are responsible for the assembly work. You are the PT teacher, you can do that very well, students listen to you, something like that. You are responsible for so and so. Now here the leader is assigning the task. Sometimes what happens is in a school, the principal, coordinators, teachers are all there in a meeting and the teachers come forward like, I'll take care of probably the marketing. I will take care of probably, the artwork. I will take care of the video editing, things like that. They create the departments. This is called a structured collaboration. These days I've seen this trending things in primary classes, ma'am. Uh, in order to teach the concept of mathematics, they have this project that they have done with respect to fake ice cream shops. So an ice cream shop is set up in the school by the teacher with fake ice creams using some props out there, and the children come and buy the ice cream. Have you done this in the school? I think, of course, you would have. I'm not sure. If not, then you can put it on the chat. So basically, what they do is the children come and they give the denominations. It's again a fake rupees or currency note, and that's basically what do you call that? A manipulative. You have that object in your hand, and the students pay that amount and get the change to get an understanding of money, numbers, addition, subtraction, how economics actually functions, probably in second or third standard itself. It's very difficult to convince a child that you go to a store, you pick up whatever you want and pay for it. They don't understand why do we have to pay for it. Well, this could be a way of emphasizing that. Well, monopoly, exactly, trade board game. Oh, you had market with fake money. Oh, that's interesting, Sheetal ma'am. Student driven. Next is structured collaboration. Right after that, student driven. Now, student driven is the area where the facilitators don't really say the next step. The students take an initiative and they say that this has to be the next step. And surprisingly, whatever steps that we have in our mind, the students actually come up with a different or unique idea. That's with respect to student driven. Multifaceted learning. Now, this is very important. It's just learning. No, it is also with respect to assessments. Now, when you talk about multifaceted learning and assessments, it's all about you did not expect in this particular process that you would learn the art of communication. You did not expect that while doing a project, you will learn the art of, or there is a department existing on so and so area. You will not realize that during this particular process, if I talk like this, the other person will understand better. Did you understand? So these are not something that you can explicitly mention on the paper. It just happens. It just happens and you don't even realize it. If I have to come up with an analogy, it's like when did you fall in love with your spouse? It's like every day you kept on saying I love you, but there was no reaction. There was a time when suddenly the other person felt love for you. It's like you can't really measure when that happened. There's no standard time to it. It's a subconscious, I would say, with an analog way of things getting transferred. So it's like very difficult to identify when that happened, but it just happens. Hence, project-based learning is very important. It's like you don't have to mention it on the paper. I'm not sure if you're experiencing that, but yeah, that's happening. I'm reading newspapers on, people formatting projects on killing their spouse. I think it's a sad reality right now. A lot of news around there. I think you're able to relate it to that. Not the right example for today, by the way, but let's go forward. So the universal PBL blueprint. That's it. That's it. This is the last part of the session almost. So here you can see that the universal project-based learning blueprint, it involves 6 steps, ma'am. Very important. The first one is the driving question. Now, this particular question has to be extremely open-ended. So it cannot be like, in order to learn the Pascal's law, I would like to give you a question and you try to make a project of it. No, no. That is something that the teachers should know only for themselves. That's it. That's it. Like, you don't have to explicitly mention it out there. So that's with respect to driving question, completely open. That's for example, it could be the air quality in Bangalore is gradually becoming bad. What can we do about it? You understood? Air quality, basically maybe the chapter is on air pollution, you want to direct the complete project towards that. So this is an open-ended question. Another question could be, there's a lot of increase in the electric vehicles, in the market. People are adopting electric vehicles. Is that really a good thing or a bad thing? Something like that. Let's make a project out of it. So interestingly, this particular project was done by some students. I'm taking it from there. What they identified is the electric vehicles, though during the locomotion when they're moving, their exhaust is not polluting the environment, but the process of creation of the chargers or the batteries is highly polluting. In fact, you are using coal energy or hydroelectric energy, not hydroelectric. That doesn't happen these days. It's like you're using another fuel to build charging stations. You're actually transferring the electric, which actually got converted using some non-renewable source of energy. You're able to understand, right? This is not called as green energy. We have to get into the details in some other session, but the point over here is this is a driving question. Is that a good thing to have more number of EV vehicles? Think about it. Now we can talk about further aspects. Second is define learning goals. This is something with respect to a teacher's job to make sure that your core learning is kept into picture. Plan the product, that means the solution that you have. Determine the authentic outcome of the project. Structure the process. Now this structure can be by assigning tasks to the students. Facilitate with scaffolds, basically the checkpoints. Am I there in the right direction? Am I getting distracted? Finally, assess and reflect, which is actually the process throughout the session. For this, I would like to quickly show one, not this, not this. One example from where, let us understand. See, this is sample problem. Our classroom is too noisy. What can we do about it? Our classroom is too noisy. What can we do about it? Probably for grade 4 to 8, something which can be easily adaptable. So the first one is alignment with 5 key PBL features. Real world connection. Yes, the classroom is too noisy. It is directly related to the students every day. Second, core to learning. Now, what are you trying to do? You're trying to teach probably sound, mechanical waves to the students in higher classes, or you're going to talk about noise pollution, probably in grade 4 or 5. We are going to talk about math, which is all about data. How much noise gets increased? For example, lunch period is the time when the noise is maximum, or the school is about to leave, the noise is maximum. But these days, I mean, I did not expect this, but it was a realization that the most interesting teacher of the school, when he or she enters the class, the school becomes, or that particular class becomes even more noisy. They love it. They enjoy that. And sometimes these teachers allow this chaos to happen in the class. With chaos actually comes clarity. Oh, well, that's a powerful statement. With math is data. Language is report writing. The students have to present that out. And art is all about awareness posters, something related to marketing elements. Reach. That's core to learning. Structured collaborations is all about assigning the task. Students work in teams to research, observe, and propose everything related to sound and noise. Student driven, the students have to brainstorm, create tools, and test them. I'll show you the project. You'll love it. Multifaceted learning combines research, creativity, data collection, presentation. I think you're able to understand these five key PBL structures. Let's go forward. First one, driving question as per the 6 steps. Okay. Principal will arrive. No need of project for this. Finish. Okay, let's go forward. Driving question. My father has got a lot of complaints that his class is always noisy. Principals have given him a lot of memos also. But this fellow never cared. He's just shut down the doors actually. He tried reducing the voice of his, but very difficult. Teachers, no, it's very difficult. I don't agree with that. So, driving question: how can we reduce the noise levels in our classroom to improve learning? So, this is the problem statement getting established. This is the direction towards which the children have to work on. Discuss with students why noise matters. Link to science concepts like vibration, sound waves, hearing, stress. Probably get students curious. Can we measure sound? Can we reduce it? Is it like is there a controller in the classroom where I just turn it left and it's like noise is reduced? Next is define learning goals. Now, driving question is the place where brainstorming heavily happens, and then there is a direction towards learning goals. Properties of sound, sources of noise. This is heavily done by the teachers. Recording decibel levels, analyzing averages. If I have to record decibel levels, I need a device for that. Is it available in the market? I hope you're getting where we are going. Creating persuasive writing and campaigning posters, English or Hindi, any language for that matter. Art and ICT, designing posters for infographics, and empathy active listening comes under empathy and active listening comes under SEL. Just give me a moment. In 3, 2, I have. Okay, done. Sorry. So here we go. Empathy active listening. Now, step number 3, we go forward and understand this. Plan the product. A report on classroom noise levels, a quiet zones redesign proposal, posters for a peer awareness. Actually, quiet zones in schools, you don't have to have a poster. The moment the students cross the staff room, automatically they get quiet. So that's obviously a quiet zone. Or even more quiet, where even the teachers become very quiet. That is probably the management room or the principal room. So that area of the school will always be damn quiet. It's like those walls are like, why don't you guys make noise over here? I'm feeling lonely, something like that. So posters for a peer awareness campaign. Then do it yourself sound absorbing panels, cardboard plus cotton project. This was fantastic project. You would see that in recording studios where the music is, the panels are soundproof. Something like that could be done to the school, right? Yeah. Manage the process. Students form teams. Team number 1 measures noise at different times of the day using apps or manually. That clap test. Clap test, you have decibels. You clap it, and the app says how much sound has got increased. Team 2 interviews classmates on how noise affects them. The naughty boy will be like, it doesn't affect me, but what to do? It's a project, right? Automatically, 4 people are serious. The fifth person will get serious. Designs visual campaign materials. Team 3. Team 4 researches simple soundproofing or layout changes. You have seen that by this time, the whole chapter of sound is probably getting completed in a week's time without an actual teaching happening in the classroom. Up to a large extent. Teacher facilitates with mini lessons on decibels, graphing, persuasive writing, templates for note taking and reflection, and regular check ins. So these are some key aspects. Yeah, exactly. You're not allowed to close the door. Yeah, that's wrong. Class is noisy. It's very difficult to handle them. You just assign a task so that it becomes even more noisy and they gradually subside versus the decibel level when no, no. Okay. Staff room actually leads it. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, during the time when there's an actual discussion or a debate happening among the staff room teachers, they are way louder than the students. Trust me, I've seen it in the workshops. Final product and presentation, which is step number 6. Each team presents their part of the findings. Class agrees or disagrees on the best solution. Rearrange desk, noise reminder posters, sound dampening corners with cushions, etc. They present to the school head or parents, and that's implemented. Assessment and reflection is all about rubrics, scientific understanding, collaboration, innovation and feasibility of solutions, clarity of communication. Students like, what did we learn about noise, about working in teams, or about solving problems? It's very difficult to conduct this project based learning without the collaboration of other subject teachers as well. It's like it cannot be done by one subject teacher because the project based learning in itself is not domain specific. So that's one of the examples with which you can understand. One last video before we conclude the session. That's with respect to on the ants. Ants can teach you so many other things apart from that they are just ants. Anyways, that's with respect to BBC's video on ants. I mean that's one of the
This
perfect execution of project based or project of creating their living raft and crossing the river from one place to another with everyone together. Look at the type of coordination would have got river, or look at the type of all these advantages. Let's get understand. So this is with respect to student engagement, academic achievement, collaboration skills, creativity and innovation, student ownership, real world readiness, assessment for learning. These are some of the key areas that impacts a student through project based learning. It's quite important for us to understand project based learning is different from making a project. It's important for us to understand project based learning need not have outcome with the stipulated time. While it is an important soft skill that the students have to take care of, it is not even something that you can stop. One of the key aspects of project based learning is creativity, and creativity does not have a deadline. So it's like the project keeps on evolving. So it's important for the facilitator, the guide, to have check-ins or checkpoints. Like this project is ready right now at level number 1. So the version 1 is getting released. Let's keep researching. Go to version number 2. Why not version number 2 directly, and why version 1? Because there are people or the problem out there which is happening right now, which can be solved up to a certain extent with version number 1. So why are we holding on to it? Just let's release it and let the people be happy about it. So that's it, teachers. That brings me to the end of project-based learning. I hope it would have given you simple insights on what's project-based learning all about. Uh, Quite a lot of takeaways actually today. I'm not sure. I think most of you might have already known about it, but this is quite an upgrade according to me for me. So yeah. Yeah, thank you so much, teachers. Great interacting with one and all. I would like to meet you with another interesting topic in the next Super Sunday workshop. An interesting topic for the next Super Sunday workshop is going to be related to board exams. I think everybody's aware about some of the recent updates by CBSE on 2 board exams. It's all over there in the news. Let's decode that in detail in the next Super Sunday workshop. Until then, thank you so much and Jai Hind. If there are any queries, you can put on the chat, teachers. Lovely interacting with you on another Sunday. Yes, today you got less time. Unavoidable circumstance. I'm really sorry. Oh, it was taken in your previous workshop. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, very good. Great. Correct. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Upesh sir. Isha ma'am, Mamta ma'am, thank you so much. Kavita ma'am, I would request you to please fill up the reflection form. Thank you, Fayaz sir. Shakshi ma'am, good to see you. Sheetal ma'am, thank you. Nisha ma'am, thank you. Thank you, Deva Manori ma'am. Oh, thank you. Great, great, great. Thank you, Devasmita ma'am, Shabana ma'am, Narmada ma'am. Discipline they should learn seeing ants. Oh, lot other things, Narmada ma'am, apart from that. Yeah. Ants has got its own. So let's have a Super Sunday workshop dedicated to ants. Trust me, 1 hour is not enough. Sure, Ashish sir, absolutely. Harish, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Bhageshri ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much. Huh. Project-based learning includes parents also as a stakeholder. Sometimes I believe that avoiding them is better. But there are really good parents. I mean, taking initiatives. See, parenting during 90s was 80s and 90s was comparatively easier because there was no distraction, right? I mean, the child has to listen to you or look at the TV. These were the only 2 things. The kind of narratives that used to be there in the community was not as challenging as these days are. So, somewhere I strongly believe that that has like influenced parents to quite some extent. They get agitated, maybe because of that. Yeah, it is difficult, and I think it will get difficult. The certificates will be delivered to your mail ID, ma'am. Thank you, Anisa, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mamta, ma'am. Sakina, ma'am, good to see you. Thank you so much, Yogalakshmi, ma'am. Great. Anger management should be one topic. We'll do that very soon. Uh, I am not the right person to counsel the parents, I guess. Am I? You are the right people to do that. You're the one who are meeting them regularly. Thank you. Thank you. Dheeraj sir, good to see you, sir. Thank you, Devamanagari, ma'am. Very few parents, exactly. Orientation has to be given, Chaitanya, ma'am. You're right. Thank you, Ali, ma'am. Vidyulata. Nice name. Languages ke liye, one of the topic that I recently was a project. I saw like all the language teachers, if you're there in the session right now, there is a decrease in the acceptance of regional languages at the college level. That's a problem. So you can see that there are universities out there which has courses in Hindi, Sanskrit, in fact, Tamil and Telugu as well, or Malayalam, any language for that matter. But there are good universities out there. But the takers for these subjects are very less. Now, this is a problem. Now, what could be the project on this? Think about it. Now, during the project-based learning, it's important for you to make sure that you're sticking to the core to learning point. Whatever is there in the book is part of the project, and then get it forward. This could be one example of, I would say, languages are dying. What can we do about it? Something like that. Yes, Nandita ma'am, you're right. Thank you, Shaili ma'am, Madhavi ma'am, thank you. Great, Apuva ma'am. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Parna ma'am. Thank you so much. Worth attending the session, Maria ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Oh, absolutely, Xiaomi 22113171. Just message me. Oh, very good, Bindu ma'am. That's fantastic. Twice a year is quite possible. Absolutely, Praveen. So next month, next Sunday, mostly it'll be on that CBSE updates. I'm waiting for a few more authentic information to know, to get more clarity on the same. Once I get that, that'll be done. Most probably next Super Sunday workshop. Updates on CBSE, something like that. Great. So let's close for the day, teachers. Should be so interactive. In the language teachers speak more with student in class, then we get comment that my class is so noisy. Oh, Wali ma'am, I do not know how you will manage that, but it's your duty. You're going to do that. Great. Thank you. Thank you, teachers. Let's close for today. I would request, I mean, just a wish, spend time with your family, teachers. Have a super Sunday. Bye, everyone.